You ready?
Yes. Oh my God. Ow.
Wow, so this is actually pretty much 150 watts. And then we have two color brightnesses, or two color balances. And then we have medium mode, which went down to 125 watts. Then the dimmest, which went down to 89 watts. That is pretty cool. So you guys remember the Wise batteries? Well, the same person who works at Wise and sent me those works at, they knew what they were doing with this name, Hykolity. They knew what they were doing with this. She works there, and she was like, well, I remember your videos. You were really nice, and you had a little workshop. Did you need lights for the workshop? And I was like, well, I sure don't want to buy them. And what do you have? And I feel kind of like I was going to take advantage of her because, you know, so many people who have sent me things for product reviews, they've remembered me and they really like me and they help me get other things. She offered to give me like 18 of these, which, or not like 12, but I felt like, oh, that's a bit much because these are pretty fancy. And so instead, how about you send me one, we tear it apart, we use it on the channel, and then they maybe send me one every single year of a different model because I like taking apart LED lights. And now this one's pretty fascinating because it has a dimmer which you can adjust by feeding between 0 to 10 volts apparently through it. And it comes with a really nice little hook. The screws on the top. I'm honestly kind of thinking it might be nice to mount this straight up because I really enjoy ambient light sometimes. This ceiling is very dark, so it doesn't reflect as much light, but it's okay. And then on this corner, it all seems like it's waterproof. This undoes, and you open up two switches. One is the color temperatures, and then the other one is a three-way switch that does 90, 120, and 150 watts. Yep, that's pretty much it. Now, before I tear it apart, I want to go take this into various places and try it out. I'm really thankful that they sent this to me because if I'd known about this and if I needed light, I would get it. But I am a nut for cool LEDs. I love this heatsink. This is so wild. And the power supply is held within this. Looks like it's held off with 4 bolts. And then there's a cable with a little, like a nipple or whatever, taking the cable through there. So you could actually probably separate this if you needed. Now I'm curious what's in here. I know I said I was gonna try it some places before I turned it on, I took it apart, but I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe just a remnant from this being a modular system. Okay, so first of all, let's take this into the building that I'm restoring to be part of the solar panel system building. And let's see how it lights that up. Not too bad. Oh, I look right in it. God damn. All right, that's one count already. Thais, you don't even have to add it in editing. I'm just gonna already be saying it every time I look in the depths of the light. That's just way too much. So look at that. You can see quite a bit of detail. This is actually a really good inspection light. It's practically sunlight. I see I need to inspect some more over there. There's some more broken boards over there. But these boards are definitely broken up here. All right. The thing that I noticed is in there, you can see some more boards have broken up through there. The white stuff, well, down there, that board's actually fallen down in this section right here. Yeah, this is pretty good. When I zoom out the camera this much, it uses a lens which doesn't let as much light through. And yep, this is pretty bright. Honestly, it's pretty creepy how single point this is. But if I go like this, it's not so bad. Yeah, it's kind of neat. Okay. Next one. Okay, what I think I'll do next is, now that I'm outside and I'm in the car park, oh yeah, you can see all the infrared from the security lights. Well, I'm gonna go up on top of the big Bell Telephone building, and I'm gonna put the camera up there so we can see what kind of spread do we get. Now this might be a little bit difficult to see any difference because this camera adjusts its light pretty well, but I can definitely try. Whew, that was too many steps. Now, I think the final place to test this is in this place that is going to be possibly one of my workshops. All right, I think we should hang it up. I guess the key with this light is don't look up. Never look up. Yeah, this is like factory lighting. If I needed task lighting, well, I probably will someday, on a table in here, this would be perfect. I think I have it on the bluest setting. I should put it to the warmest setting, but even out here, it still works. Gosh, they were gonna send me so many of these. I do not need like 12 of them. I'm glad I just got one. And plus, 150 watts is super bright. That is super bright. I wish I had a light meter, at least a calibrated one. I do technically have solar panels, but solar panels, I wouldn't quite know how to really get the measurements from it. Meanwhile, I could just get a light meter and I could have a measurement of how bright it is at the floor level or something like that. So yeah. Well, I think we should probably take this home and take it apart. Just from that, it's now quite warm. It's pretty warm actually. I can still carry it, but just barely. I will say though, I'm pretty sensitive to heat though, so anybody else could probably carry it just fine. You know, I'm like, oh, it's hot. All right, let's start tearing into this. First of all, we have that little access, the settings. Now let's take this off. These are actually really fascinating little screws. I love how that end looks. Oh, here we go. Here we have more data. All right, let's open that up. Oh, there's actually a fairly elastic potting compound in here. All right. Well, I won't pursue that any further. And this is what was holding it on. Well, that actually looks pretty reliable. Let's button that back up. Oh, look at that. You actually get a little potentiometer. So there is some function in there. I wonder what it does. All right, so I have this connected up to the watt meter, and I have the cap taken off because you don't need to undo this in order to adjust it. And I want to see if adjusting this will adjust the voltage or adjust the wattage. So 142, I'm going clockwise. 159, wow. I'm going anti-clockwise. Wow, look at that. Now on maximum settings, it goes to way lower. So you can make this last longer by going anti-clockwise and drive these LEDs a little bit less. Or if you really didn't care and this was in a cold climate, you could drive it harder. So at the lowest setting, you can go down to 58 watts, something like that. So if this isn't pulling the right wattage, you can up it. I actually wouldn't recommend doing that because just having it down clock a little bit would be way better. Going up, and clockwise. You know what? I like having it run at 100 watts. That would be better. So I'm going anti-clockwise again. Perfect. And that's pretty much it for that. Oh, this is so exciting. It's starting to get warm now. And the lower the wattage is, you might notice something interesting, that as you lower the power draw, the light does not lower proportionally or linearly, because as you power an LED lower, the efficiency goes up. So if you go down 10%, well, it might go down only 8% in the brightness, or something even maybe bigger than that. So you can get some pretty interesting results by downclocking it. But if I were to run this at 2/3 the power, which would be easy to do, it would probably still be giving like 5/6 of the light, something along that line. And it might actually last twice or 4 times as long. All right, the last thing I want to do is I want to take off this lens, and I want to see this. This, you know what, this might be epoxied on. This might be a case to actually run it, heat it up, and then let it come off. Oh, never mind. It was actually like almost like there was a vacuum seal on it. Once I pulled it up, it worked fine. That is so cool. So it looks like we have no circuitry actually in here. So this is pretty simplistic. And we have the 2 colors. So like warm and cold, and then voltage plus. And looks so cool. You know, if I didn't already have a thumbnail or a channel banner that was pretty cool, this kind of shot would definitely be it. These gaskets are pretty nice too. Overall, the build quality of this is really nice. I'm getting a little bit tired of all the cheaply made LEDs, so this is a bit of fresh air. I've never taken apart such a nice quality LED light before. But I would strongly recommend going into here and downclocking it just by a little bit. Anything you can get away with, because it doesn't look like, whenever I change it, it doesn't look like it changes very much in appearance to my eyes, because the efficiency changes along with how much you drive it. But it definitely would run cooler, and it would run everything, well, I think everything would last a lot longer, and that's important. Well, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much, Hykolity, High Quality, for sending me this light. And thanks for the offer of sending a bunch, but I would much rather not take advantage of companies in an excessive manner like that, and get 1 or 2 of these a year, and we can take them apart. Because if I got a bunch of something, I would just take one apart. But if I could take apart a bunch of different ones a few times a year, that is pretty cool. So this looks, I give it a pass. It seems pretty good. And Ice is editing the first part of the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. See ya. It's pretty good to get for free. Pretty happy. Wow, that actually went back together really well. I was a little bit surprised. And yet not, because the build quality seems pretty good on this. Humans have gotten manufacturing down pat. It's amazing.